Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at this research article called Transforming Healthcare Through Regenerative Medicine.PEIISF.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's pretty mind-blowing stuff. We're talking about the
Okay.
possibility of actually curing diseases,
Mm-hmm.
not just treating symptoms,
Right.
by rejuvenating, regenerating, or even replacing damaged cells, tissues, and organs.
It's wild. It really is a paradigm shift in how we think about healthcare.
Yeah.
Instead of just sort of managing conditions, we're looking at the potential to actually address the root causes
Yeah.
and actually reverse damage.
So what exactly has led to this huge surge of interest and research in regenerative medicine? It's not like the concept of healing is brand new.
You're right, but think about the challenges that we're facing today, right?
Okay.
Like aging populations,
Yeah.
rising rates of chronic diseases. These are putting immense strain on our current healthcare systems. Regenerative medicine offers a potential solution by targeting those underlying issues and offering more permanent fixes.
So it's not just about living longer, it's about
Exactly.
living healthier for longer.
That's it.
Okay.
And this research article, it actually points to a massive market for regenerative medicine.
Oh, wow.
It's projected to reach like $67.5 billion by 2020.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not just about the money. I mean, governments and research institutions are pouring resources into this field because they recognize its potential to revolutionize how we treat major health issues.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be talking about breakthroughs in heart disease, neurological disorders, diabetes. The list goes on.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. Can we break down the basics a little bit? How does regenerative medicine actually work?
Sure.
What are the key approaches scientists are taking?
There are two main branches, cell-based therapies and tissue engineering.
Okay.
Both are really fascinating and hold immense promise, but they work in very different ways.
Okay, so let's start with cell-based therapies. I mean, the name kind of gives it away.
Right.
What exactly is happening here?
Essentially, it's about harnessing the power of cells to either stimulate the body's natural repair mechanisms or replace damaged cells directly. It's like giving your body a boost to heal itself or providing it with a fresh set of building blocks.
So are we talking about stem cells here?
You're on the right track.
Okay.
Stem cells are a critical part of many cell-based therapies. They have this amazing ability to develop into various types of cells, making them incredibly valuable for regenerating damaged tissues. One type you might have heard of is hematopoietic stem cells,
Okay.
which are found in bone marrow. They've been used for years in bone marrow transplants to treat certain blood disorders.
That's pretty amazing. I also know that there's been a lot of controversy around stem cells, especially embryonic stem cells.
Right.
Where do those fit into all of this?
That's a great question, and it's really important to distinguish between different types of stem cells.
Yeah.
Embryonic stem cells do hold incredible potential.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, their use raises ethical concerns for some people.
Right.
And that's why a lot of research is now focused on adult stem cells, like mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs, which can be obtained from various tissues without the same ethical considerations.
So MSCs are kind of like the ethical all-stars of the stem cell world?
You could say that.
Okay.
They're readily available, and they don't carry the same ethical baggage as embryonic stem cells. Plus, they can be grown and manipulated in the lab, which makes them very attractive for research and potential therapies.
That sounds promising, but are MSCs as effective as other types of stem cells? I'm curious if the results really back up the hype.
Yeah, that's where things get a bit more complex.
Okay.
While there's a lot of excitement surrounding MSCs, the research on their effectiveness is still mixed.
Yeah.
Some studies have shown very promising results, while others have been less conclusive.
So more research is needed to really understand the full potential and limitations of MSCs?
Yeah.
But I have to ask about the other big branch you mentioned, tissue engineering. What does that involve?
Tissue engineering is all about building new tissues from scratch, often using a combination of cells and biodegradable scaffolds.
Scaffolds. It sounds like we're building tiny houses for cells.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Imagine a framework that provides structure for cells to grow and organize themselves. As the cells multiply and form new tissue, the scaffold gradually breaks down, leaving behind a brand new living structure.
So they're literally building new tissues and organs in the lab.
That's the ultimate goal.
Wow.
Scientists have already successfully engineered skin, cartilage, and even complex organs like tracheas and bladders.
Wow.
And the technology is constantly evolving. Early on, synthetic materials were used as scaffolds,
Uh-huh.
but now there's a shift towards using decellularized matrices.
Decellularized matrices, I have to admit, that one's new to me. Can you break it down?
Sure, imagine taking a donor organ or tissue and removing all the cells, leaving behind just the structural framework. This natural scaffold provides a much better environment for new cells to grow and integrate, and it significantly reduces the risk of rejection.
It was like giving an old organ a brand new cellular makeover.
Exactly, and that's just one example of how tissue engineering is pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We're seeing incredible progress in creating functional replacements for damaged tissues and organs.
This is also fascinating, but I'm also wondering about the potential downsides. The research article mentioned some controversies surrounding regenerative medicine.
Right.
Can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, unfortunately, the immense potential of regenerative medicine has also attracted some bad actors, right?
Yeah.
We've seen cases of research misconduct and the rise of stem cell tourism, where clinics offer unproven and potentially dangerous treatments to desperate patients.
Stem cell tourism, that sounds risky.
It can be incredibly risky.
Hmm.
Patients seeking miracle cures can be vulnerable to exploitation. And the media hype around stem cells often creates unrealistic expectations and blurs the line between fact and fiction.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we need reliable scientific data from rigorous clinical trials and honest, transparent communication about the potential and limitations of regenerative medicine.
So how do we, as listeners, navigate this complex landscape and separate the hype from the real deal?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll delve deeper into in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But one key takeaway is to be critical of sensationalized claims and to look for evidence-based information from reputable sources.
Yeah.
Remember, regenerative medicine is a rapidly evolving field,
Mm-hmm.
and with any groundbreaking advancement, there'll be challenges and ethical considerations to address.
This has been incredibly insightful. I'm definitely feeling a mix of excitement and caution, which I think is the right approach to a field with such potential impact. But for now, let's welcome back to the deep dive. I don't know about you, but I'm still processing all the incredible possibilities we've talked about. It's mind-blowing to think that we could one day regenerate damaged organs or even grow new ones in a lab.
Yeah, it truly is a remarkable field with the potential to transform healthcare as we know it. But you know what's even more fascinating is that this isn't just some distant futuristic dream.
Right.
Regenerative medicine is already making a difference in real-world applications today.
That's what I'm really curious about. I feel like sometimes these big scientific concepts can feel a bit abstract.
Sure.
So can we ground this a little bit? What
Sure.
are some specific examples of how regenerative medicine is being used right now to help people?
Absolutely. Let's start with neurology, where regenerative medicine is showing immense promise for tackling some of the most challenging conditions. Take Parkinson's disease, for example, which affects millions of people worldwide. It's a neurodegenerative disorder that gradually destroys brain cells that are responsible for movement,
Right.
leading to tremors, stiffness, and difficulty with balance and coordination.
That sounds devastating. Are there any regenerative therapies available for Parkinson's patients right now?
There's a lot of ongoing research and clinical trials exploring different approaches, and while there's no cure yet, the progress is encouraging. One strategy involves transplanting fetal porcine cells into the brains of Parkinson's patients.
Fetal porcine cells? Are we talking about cells from pigs?
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
Researchers are investigating whether these cells can actually integrate into the human brain and replace the dopamine-producing neurons that have been lost.
Okay.
And while this is still in the early stages of research, it offers a potential way to restore lost function and improve symptoms.
Wow, that's a pretty radical approach, but
Yeah.
I can see how it could be game-changing if it works. Are there any other strategies being explored for Parkinson's using regenerative medicine?
Another approach that's showing some promise is the transplantation of embryonic dopamine neurons.
Okay.
These are the specific type of brain cells that are affected in Parkinson's disease. The idea is to replenish the lost neurons and potentially halt or even reverse the progression of the disease.
So in both of these cases, the goal is to essentially replace the damaged brain cells with healthy ones.
Exactly. It's a bold approach,
Yeah.
and while the research is still ongoing, it highlights the potential of regenerative medicine to address complex neurological conditions that were once considered untreatable.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities for treating Parkinson's and other neurodegenerative diseases.
Yeah.
What about other areas of medicine? Are there any other conditions where regenerative therapies are showing promise?
Absolutely. Another area where we're seeing significant advancements is in the treatment of spinal cord injuries.
Okay.
These injuries are often devastating, leading to paralysis and loss of sensation. Traditionally, there have been very limited treatment options for spinal cord injuries, but regenerative medicine is offering new hope.
It's heartbreaking to think about the impact these injuries have on people's lives. How is regenerative medicine being used to address this challenge?
One approach that's showing potential involves transplanting mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs, directly into the injured spinal cord.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about MSCs earlier?
Yeah.
They have the ability to differentiate into various cell types and promote tissue repair.
Mm-hmm.
In the context of spinal cord injury, researchers believe that MSCs can help to reduce inflammation, stimulate the growth of new nerve cells, and potentially restore some lost function.
So they're essentially acting like tiny repair crews going in and trying to fix the damage.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just about MSCs. Researchers are also investigating the use of bone marrow nucleated cells, which are another type of stem cell found in bone marrow.
Okay.
These cells are being injected into the area of the injury to promote healing and regeneration.
It's incredible to think that we might one day be able to repair damaged spinal cords and help people regain mobility. What about other areas like cardiology? Heart disease is such a widespread problem. Is regenerative medicine playing a role there as well?
Absolutely. Heart disease is a major focus of regenerative medicine research. Conditions like ischemic cardiomyopathy and heart failure, where the heart muscle is weakened or damaged, affect millions of people worldwide,
Right.
and they often have debilitating consequences.
I can see why this would be a prime target for regenerative therapies.
Yeah.
What are some of the strategies being explored in cardiology?
One promising approach involves injecting MSCs directly into the heart muscle. Again, these versatile stem cells are believed to have the ability to differentiate into heart muscle cells, promote the growth of new blood vessels, and improve the overall function of the heart.
So they're essentially trying to regenerate the damaged heart tissue.
That's the goal. And MSCs aren't the only type of stem cell being investigated for heart repair. Researchers are also exploring the use of cardiac stem cells, which are found within the heart itself.
Oh, wow.
These cells have the potential to regenerate heart tissue and improve cardiac function.
It's amazing to think that our bodies have this innate ability to heal, and regenerative medicine is tapping into that potential in such a targeted way.
It really is. And it's not just limited to neurology, spinal cord injuries, and cardiology. Regenerative medicine is also being explored for respiratory diseases, rheumatology, and many other areas.
Wow.
For example, in idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a condition that causes scarring of the lungs, MSCs are being investigated for their ability to reduce inflammation and promote healing.
Okay.
And in osteoarthritis, a common joint disorder, MSCs are being injected into joints to reduce pain and inflammation and potentially regenerate damaged cartilage.
So it sounds like MSCs are the real multitaskers of the regenerative medicine world.
They are incredibly versatile. And what's even more exciting is that we're only scratching the surface of what's possible with regenerative medicine.
Right.
As our understanding of stem cells, tissue engineering, and other key technologies advances, the potential applications will only continue to grow.
It's like a whole new frontier of medicine is opening up before our eyes.
It is.
But as with any groundbreaking technology, there are bound to be challenges and ethical considerations. We touched on some of those earlier, but can we delve a bit deeper into the potential downsides or risks associated with regenerative medicine?
Yeah, you're right. It's important to acknowledge that while the potential of regenerative medicine is immense, it's not without its challenges.
I'm really curious to hear more about those challenges. What are some of the things we need to be cautious of as this field continues to evolve?
One of the biggest concerns is the potential for hype and unrealistic expectations.
Okay.
Regenerative medicine is a complex and rapidly evolving field, and it's important to be wary of claims that sound too good to be true.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a problem, especially for patients who are desperate for cures.
Exactly. It's crucial to remember that many of these therapies are still in the early stages of research, and it takes time to rigorously evaluate their safety and effectiveness. We need to be cautious of clinics or companies that offer unproven treatments or make exaggerated claims.
So it's a bit of a buyer beware situation.
To some extent, yes. It's important to do your research, consult with reputable medical professionals, and be wary of anything that sounds too good to be true.
That makes sense. What are some other potential downsides or challenges we should be aware of?
Another significant concern is the issue of access and affordability.
Okay.
Regenerative therapies are likely to be expensive, at least initially, which could create disparities in access.
That's a really important point. We don't want these life-saving treatments to only be available to the wealthy.
Exactly. It's crucial that we address the issue of equity and ensure that these therapies are accessible to everyone who needs them, regardless of their socioeconomic status.
Absolutely. I'm also curious about the long-term implications of regenerative medicine. If we can start regenerating organs and potentially extending lifespans, how will that impact society as a whole?
That's a great question, and it's one that we'll explore further in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But you're right, the potential impact of regenerative medicine extends far beyond the realm of healthcare.
Right.
It raises profound questions about aging, work, social structures, and even our understanding of life and death.
Wow, it seems like we've just scratched the surface of this incredibly complex and fascinating field. I'm definitely eager to continue the conversation and delve into those bigger picture implications. But for now, let's back. Welcome back to the deep dive. We spent the last two parts exploring the incredible potential of regenerative medicine, from its scientific underpinnings to the real-world applications that are already making a difference in people's lives. But, as with any powerful technology, there are also important ethical and societal implications to consider, and that's what we're going to dive into today.
You're absolutely right. As regenerative medicine continues to advance, it raises some really profound questions about what it means to be human,
Yeah.
how we define health and disease, and how we allocate resources in a fair and equitable way.
It really feels like we're entering a whole new territory,
Oh,
both scientifically and ethically.
yeah.
So, where do we even begin to unpack all of this? What are some of the most pressing ethical concerns surrounding regenerative medicine?
Well, one of the biggest and most long-standing debates centers around the use of embryonic stem cells.
Okay.
As we discussed earlier, these cells hold incredible potential for regenerative medicine
Right.
because they can differentiate into virtually any cell type in the body.
Yeah.
However, obtaining them involves destroying embryos,
Right.
which of course raises moral and religious objections for many people.
I can see how that would be a deeply divisive issue. And even though scientists are exploring other sources of stem cells, like those MSCs we talked about, the debate over embryonic stem cells continues to be a major point of contention.
Absolutely. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. It forces us to grapple with these really fundamental questions about the beginning of life and the moral status of embryos.
Yeah.
And it just highlights the need for these open and honest conversations about different perspectives and values.
It sounds like we need to find a way to balance the potential benefits of this research with the ethical concerns that it raises. Are there any other ethical dilemmas we need to be thinking about as regenerative medicine moves forward?
Absolutely. Another major concern is the potential for genetic enhancement. As gene editing technologies like CRISPR become more sophisticated and accessible, there's a growing worry that they could be used not just to cure diseases, but to enhance human capabilities beyond what's considered normal.
So we're not just talking about curing diseases, but potentially creating like designer babies with enhanced intelligence, athleticism, or physical appearance.
Exactly. And that raises a whole host of ethical questions.
Yeah.
Will this lead to a society where only the genetically enhanced thrive?
Right.
Will it exacerbate existing inequalities? What does it even mean to be human in a world where we can manipulate our own genetic code?
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
Right.
But it's becoming increasingly clear that these aren't just hypothetical scenarios anymore.
Yeah.
They're real possibilities that we need to start grappling with now.
Absolutely. We need to have these thoughtful and informed conversations about the potential consequences of genetic enhancement,
Yeah.
both for individuals and for society as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to establish clear ethical guidelines and regulations to ensure that these powerful technologies are used responsibly.
It seems like navigating this new landscape of regenerative medicine is going to require a lot of careful consideration and a willingness to engage in some really tough conversations. Are there any other ethical challenges we haven't touched on yet?
One that's particularly important is the issue of access and affordability. As we discussed earlier, regenerative therapies are likely to be very expensive, at least in the initial stages of development and implementation. And that raises concerns about equitable access.
Yeah, so there's a risk that these life-changing treatments could end up being available only to the wealthy, further widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
That's a very real concern. We need to find ways to make sure that these therapies are accessible to everyone who needs them, regardless of their socioeconomic status.
Absolutely. It's not just about developing these incredible technologies. It's about ensuring that they're distributed in a way that benefits all of humanity. Are there any other kind of social implications of regenerative medicine that we should be thinking about?
Well, think about the potential impact on the workforce.
Hmm.
If regenerative medicine allows people to live significantly longer and healthier lives,
Yeah.
it could lead to an aging workforce,
Hmm.
which would require us to rethink our current models of retirement and Social Security.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about how this could reshape our understanding of work and leisure. We might need to redefine what it means to be retired and how we structure our careers over a longer lifespan.
Exactly. And it's not just about work. Longer lifespans could also have significant implications for population growth, resource allocation, and even our understanding of aging and death.
Wow. It seems like the ripple effects of regenerative medicine could be truly profound, touching on every aspect of our lives and society as a whole.
You're absolutely right. Regenerative medicine is not just about treating diseases.
Yeah.
It's about reshaping our relationship with our bodies, our health, and our very existence. It's a field that demands our attention, our critical thinking, and our commitment to ethical and equitable development.
Well said. I have to say, this deep dive has been an incredible journey, filled with both awe and, I think, a healthy dose of caution. It's clear that regenerative medicine holds immense promise, but it also presents us with some complex challenges that we need to address thoughtfully and proactively.
I completely agree. The future of regenerative medicine is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to engage in these crucial conversations and ensure that this technology is used responsibly and for the benefit of all humankind.
That's a really powerful message to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating and complex world of regenerative medicine. We hope you've learned something new and that this has sparked your own curiosity and critical thinking about the future of healthcare and the very nature of being human. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.